All right, today's topic, Shannon Sharpe, settlement. So you heard?
I heard.
Essentially, Shannon Sharpe's been embroiled in a lawsuit with a young woman he was banging. You know, they did a lot of race play, a little interracial kink stuff.
Yeah, I might choke you in public. Big black guy choked small white woman.
It's not a good look, Shannon.
And she's essentially alleging that some of it was unconsensual. Some text came out back and forth. He said, she said, and she took him to civil court. Civil court is different from criminal court. You don't have to find someone reasonable beyond a reasonable doubt. The threshold is basically what is the most likely outcome, and then the judge goes based off of that. The threshold to find the defendant guilty is a lot lower. Since this happened, Shannon Sharpe, it's been a couple months now, he said he was going to defend himself vociferously. He was going to make all the efforts to prove that this woman was a liar. A couple months later,
Crickets.
case is going away. And I can understand why from Shannon Sharpe's perspective, no matter how much he wants to prove that she's a liar in court or whatever else it may be, at the end of the day, he's out at ESPN, which is his big bag. He's losing millions and millions of dollars from the fact that he's been removed from this position. So he decided to settle. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, he didn't give her any money. He 100% paid her off.
It's not because you don't know about it or you don't say anything about it. When they say settle, is that what's in this disclosed in the settlement, it doesn't have to be disclosed out in public.
No.
So maybe he did give money, but it's not disclosed. We don't know.
He 100% gave money.
I'm just saying, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes,
they're
of
not allowed
course.
to talk about it. Or
You're talking about what he did.
Yeah.
What he actually, 100%. I'm saying,
think about it from this perspective. He's the one who's bleeding money. She's not bleeding anything because the lawyers that are working for her are working on basically the settlement. So meaning based off what they get out of this case, they're going to take a cut.
Yeah.
So she's not bleeding. He's out of his job at ESPN, hemorrhaging money with lawyers to try to defend himself. And this is probably one of the most unfair part about the law system in that regards, is that you as the defendant, you're presumed innocent, but you have to live life like you're guilty. You lose your line of work. You have to pay all these defense attorney fees. And people will say, well, you get a public defender. I don't even know how that works for civil cases. 1, 2, it's like, do you want to risk losing even more by not paying for the right representation?
You don't.
This is just the reality of, having a case brought against you. But this man has had to pay out a lot of money, and he's had to do it because it would cost him probably 5-6 times more potentially to not do it.
when you talk about innocent until proven guilty, it's really just in the confine of the court. Outside the doors of the court, what the public, what your boss, whatever think, that's what they think. However it affects you, that's what you, I guess that's what you mean when you say you still live life like you're guilty.
Yeah.
Age, not his wage, that's what he said. I don't date my age, I date my wage.
Everybody always talk about date your age, date your age. Well, I want to date my wage.
Goddamn, bro.
I don't care if it's allure, manure, accusers, and fives. Accusers and fives. What I tell y'all, accusers win. I don't care if it's allure, manure, tenure, accusers and fives. You know what my granddad used to say? About to come up with his whole story about his grandfather and his sexual assault accusers. Nah.
I don't care if it's pavement, weighment, trainment, settlement, and fire.
Yeah. You know, Shannon probably missing Undisputed right now. Skip.
Hold on, no, I skip 3.
We got Alamo.
Hold on, skip. Whoa.
Him and Skip should start a new show together.
You stupid. That's good.
Undisputed Settlements. That's the name of the show.
That's fucking good. You stupid.
Hi, man. I feel like everyone who was on that Fox show got a case against him. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Skip got a case against him. The bitch who was the moderator got a case against her. Some of the other people who featured on the show got a case against them. Fox FS1 has some wild boys. It's easy for a lot of folks on the outside to say, well, just, wait it out and play it on court. It's not your life that's halted. He has to live with this thing every day where he can't leave his house without, the judgment of this. He can't go to work.
You can't have a new contract. He can't even
seek out new alternatives because they left him in purgatory. So he can't even leave ESPN during this period to go somewhere else. It's like your life halts and you don't get that time back. As somebody who goes up into the 50s and shit like that, well, Shannon's got to be close to 60 or some shit. It's like his life is essentially all paused.
Yeah, you have a contract with ESPN, so you can't go somewhere else. And you can't go somewhere else because you have a pending case. And the pending case is like, well, you have this Damocles sword on your head. We don't know when it's going to drop, so we can't hire you. So, yeah, it's really crazy. But it is what it is. At least he's settled. He's going to be able to move on from that.
I don't think he moves on from this because at the end of the day, it's still going to be a stain on his name, and that's what people are going to really remember.
Sure.
I mean, the last time I heard about Shannon was just about this case, and it's been a couple of months since.
It has.
And I just don't see him making waves like he used to. Think about his whole brand. His whole brand was, one, he was a star of television, and two, he had access to all the celebrities, all the biggest name in the game. Now with this stain on his name, how's this podcast going to fare? Is he going to have access to the same kind of people, the same kind of guests? A lot of people might turn their back. When you attach yourself to the mainstream,
they might.
You got to live your life like you're mainstream. You can't do certain things behind closed doors. You can't engage in certain kind of relationships. You can't do a lot of different things without potentially suffering some consequences.
Yeah. So certain brands don't want to deal with you, and they pay the big bucks.
Yeah. People oftentimes compare him to be like, well, look at Leonardo DiCaprio. He be fucking with these young girls. Yes, but Leonardo just goes and he does his movies and he gets the fuck out. He doesn't spend any time in the limelight. He don't spend time doing media appearances. He don't do podcasts. He don't do radio interviews. He does nothing. The reason why is all that shit would probably have to come up more and more over time.
He gets his bag and he gets the fuck out.
He goes home.
When's the last time you heard the opinion of Leonardo DiCaprio? When's the last time you heard him put his opinion on something? No. People stay clowning him, and he just says nothing. He goes enjoy his bag, and does his thing. Yeah. He doesn't trigger nobody by not being in the limelight.
But look at Shannon in comparison.
I understand. Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't date his age. He dates his wage.
Not only that, Shannon be out here with his business out in public all the time. He be flirting with women on Instagram who are half his age, doing all this stuff. He draws all this attention. He lives off of it. He lives off the media cycle. So it's very likely that someone like that, they're going to be scrutinized to the nth degree. If Leonardo DiCaprio gets sued like this, I promise you, he doesn't give it 1/10 of the media attention that Shannon gets, because Shannon is just in the media sphere despite not being as big as Leonardo DiCaprio. If Stephen A. Smith gets involved in something, he gonna have a similar experience.
100%.
It's just unfortunate because a lot of these folks don't take any precautions to protect themselves. They're on calls and in text messages saying like really wild things that, when screenshotted and posted, it just looks crazy. And they don't take any precautions to protect themselves. And it's just one of them situations where you have all these people trying to warn you. All these people telling you, hey, be careful, act appropriate. And then it blows up in your face. And it's not like the first time for Shannon too. Shannon's had other accusations. This isn't to say what happened or what didn't. We don't know. So I'm not going to treat Shannon like he's guilty. I'm just trying to say he did nothing to protect himself throughout all of this. And that's probably the dumbest part to me. At your age, you should know better. How long you've been in the show business, the things that you have had to deal with, you should know better. You always clown young athletes for not doing things properly. You clown them all the time and you lecture them about, hey, you should do this, you should handle this. And it's like, that's how you live your private life? Watching that man who called himself Uncle all the time, just lecturing all these young athletes about speeding, about this, about the women they keep in their life. And it's like, that's what you be doing behind closed doors.
So he's the Bill Cosby of the sports?
I don't know what that means entirely, but you can explain.
He's been scolding black people about the language that they use, the way that they wear, what kind of comedy that they do, everything. Everything was like, oh, you're not this, you're not that, you're just a bad person, you're a bad person. He was being the uncle. He was telling all these artists that they shouldn't swear when they do that. He told Eddie Murphy how to do his thing. He told a bunch of other people, a bunch of other comedians that he didn't like or didn't, because of the way that they were doing their comedy, it was not reflecting good on him. And then and behind closed door, you roofie up people. You do far worse than whatever they're doing. You're being
Stop
righteous.
saying nigga.
If that's a problem, but you turn around and you roofie people, I'm sorry, nigga. But you gotta do something about that.
I'm gonna defend Bill, because if you think about it, he's just doing the right thing. You can't say nigga if you sleep. All that quiet, there was no nigga in there. That's what Bill wanted.
Oh no, the nigga was loud. Silent but loud.
I'm just saying.
It was silent, but it was right there. Zoop-dee-doo. G-E-L-O.
you know, even if it is consensual, the shit that he was texting that girl was crazy. He said, "I'm out." Hey, interracial king plays wild. But anyways, anything else from you?
Ask Doja.
Hey,
All right.
Yeah, all right. That's it for today's video. Manure at 5.